All right. Hey, y'all. What's up? Today's video is actually a perfect response video for the gray area because this is a very polarizing topic. I'm going to respond to Sovereign Woman's channel claim on bisexual men are not real, do not exist, that men can't be bisexual. Once a man does anything with a man, he's officially gay. Um, there's tons of room for nuance in this. Like, while I agree that there's a ridiculous amount of stereotypes or double standards, actually, I should say, well, both stereotypes and double standards that men have for women, just because they do that to us doesn't mean it doesn't make them right. Like, we know those double standards are BS. The whole amount of sexual partners, blah blah blah, all that silly, a silly double standard. But like men not being able to be bi, but women can be bi, that's just as stupid. That's honestly just as ridiculous of an assertion. There is no black and white. You're either straight or you're gay for any human. I don't believe. Like, of course, I believe you can be 100% straight and you can be 100% gay, but that doesn't mean all the in betweens do not exist. Just because you're a man. I don't think there's some kind of magical inability for men to just completely lose all their very real and genuine attraction to women just because they might be curious or they might want to experiment. Not only does it not make sense just from a sexuality perspective, like we have all these other sexuality, pansexual and demisexual, sapio, like men can exhibit the full range of expression of their sexuality just as much as women can. Um, Whether you believe in, just gay, straight, bi, or you are in the more expansive group, anybody can exhibit any of them. Um, Speaking from personal experience, I actually tend to like bi guys. I mean, I can't say as a whole because they do still act like guys. But I will say some of the guys that are a little bit more sexually flexible, I feel like they tend to be more themselves and more free. So one of the things she's complaining about, men on the D low is a very on the down low, or on the DL, is a very relevant concern, and I don't believe in that. That's not fair at all because you're lying to your partner. If you're on the down low, you're closeted queer man, basically, whether you're bi or gay as a man, but you're not telling your partner and you're sleeping with the other. That's cheating. But then it's also you're putting your partner's sexual health at risk. So I definitely don't condone or respect that at all. But on the same end, the DL and bi men not coming forward about being bi, a lot of that is because of the biphobia or the stereotype that, oh, you're just gay. And what man wants to be put into that box or that category because they want to experiment? Like, I'm not saying it's right for them to do that, but obviously they have no incentive to be honest about it if people are going to treat them like shit. And not only are they going to be treated like crap, but their masculinity is going to come into question, not just by women, but other men definitely give a lot of hate towards guys on any kind of spectrum outside of straightness. Like, straightness is basically equated to masculinity, which is another social construct, of course, that we have your far, people, there's people all the way on either ends of the spectrum, which is why we have the gray area in between. And I think if everybody could, even if you're far leaning towards like, oh, everybody, like, sexuality doesn't even exist, or I don't know, whatever. If you're like very, very far to like the freedom side, or you're very far to like the straightness side, like, recognize that that's your personal opinion and it has no bearing on reality. Like, it's real for you, but like, don't discount that it's very real for these men to experience attraction to both females and males, and that's okay. Like, that's just as okay as I definitely have attraction for both men and women, mostly women, but no one's ever questioned me on that. Like, no one's ever, like, if I get put in a box, I mean, I will say for women like me, it is commonly assumed that I'm a lesbian. I've never claimed to be a lesbian. I've never felt like I was a lesbian. Even though I've never dated a man like for longer than a month. That was not due to lack of effort. Um, yeah, that's a whole nother story. But anyways, yeah. So my experience personally with bi guys or bi curious or questioning guys, they are just as attracted to women as straight men are. Like the ones that I've met at least, and I've met being in queer spaces. I've met several queer men. Not only are they just as attracted to women still, they're still actually the ones I've met are still like more attracted to women than men. I mean, I'm sure there's women on either side of the bi spectrum. Some are more into women, some are more into men. A lot of bi women end up with, I can't even say a lot, but there's like a stigma or a stereotype that bi women usually end up with men, or they just kind of explore sexually with women, but like more romantically more with men. But they can be either. And then the same goes for men. I feel like it is not uncommon to see a man that is romantically and sexually interested in women, but maybe just sexually interested in men. Um, like they literally can do the same exact stuff that we do. And then the thing about being free in themselves. So the type of masculinity that I like, and I feel like other kind of secure people are into, is the kind of masculinity that is like, you're masculine without having to be performative about it. Like you have your own sense of who you are. You're coming from your own frame. You're not worried about other people's opinions. You're not like stuck on what people are going to think about you. So that's why I said I tend to like bi guys that are like openly bi, and I meet guys that they have like their own kind of unique thing going on anyways. Like they have their own style or thoughts outside of there's like a rule book somewhere that I don't know about what a man is supposed to be, that I feel like a lot of guys are following kind of like this manly script. And then there's the guys that are like, oh, F you and your rules. I'm going to be a man the way that feels best to me. That's what I like about the queer guys. They're like literally, not all the time, but a lot of times they're like, F these rules. This is stupid. Like, I know who I am. I know what I like. I know what I want. Like, you're not going to tell me that I'm this or I'm that. Like, who are you to tell somebody who they can and can't like and what that makes them and how they should identify as? Like, nobody has the right to do that to anybody, honestly. That's for all of you. That's for me. So when you're confident and you're secure in that, it's a game changer. Like when you can just be yourself. So the guys that are on the down low, unfortunately, haven't made it to that point because they are scared of what people they are scared of what people think, and so they're scared to come out. And I'm like, that doesn't do, like, shaming them doesn't do us any good. Like, it's wrong, but it's not gonna fix the problem. Honestly, I feel like being more open-minded to the fact that men also like to explore their sexuality, being more open-minded that they're not a terrible person for having these desires, having these feelings. If you don't like it, that's fine, but don't shame them and don't talk down to them. Like, you're not going to get lied to if you're a safe space. Like, it comes down to it. It's like you can't control anybody but yourself. So whether you are a decent person to people that you agree with or not, you can only control yourself. So if you are that decent person and you are kind and you are open-minded, you don't have to like go along with it. You don't even have to agree. You just literally have to be a decent, kind person, and they're way more likely to disclose, oh hey, I've had these thoughts about this. I mean, unless they really, really like you and they want to keep you. I feel like that's another video too. But for the most part, if you're a kind, caring person and you are that safe space, you're not going to have a man lie to you about being on the down low. Like, I literally never have to worry about that. I lead with, hey, oh, you're bi? I love that. That's great. Tell me about it. Like, I'm genuinely do not care what a man's sexual orientation is. Honestly, I don't care what anybody's sexual orientation is as long as they like me. I'm one of those. You can be straight. I don't freaking care. I definitely had a straight girlfriend. Straight. Um, Disregard that. But yeah, so regardless of your personal feelings, just realize being that polarized black or white, all it's gonna do is make people not want to talk to you. At the end of the day, like, we're not in Walgreens, it's not a perfect world. The whole viewpoint is, this word is is definitely a buzzword right now, but it's toxic. It's freaking toxic. It's a real word, and it has a use. It still has a good use. So, like, don't be toxic. Don't be that person that you can't see. You know, you're in an echo chamber and you're just with all like the super manly, this is how a man is. Like, that was terrible. Ugh. But, or like the women that's like, oh, especially the bi women. Oh, that is the most, man, don't get me started on bi women who hate on bi men. I'm like, girl, if that's not the pot calling the kettle black, I don't know what the freak is. That's like a whole nother level of BS. Like the hypocriticalness of being bi but not accepting it in another. Yeah, it just, sometimes you just need to say these things out loud to realize how ridiculous it sounds. And I feel like if we all said this stuff out loud, or just talk to someone that has the opposing viewpoint, and realize that it's not taking away anything from you to like try to see from a different perspective or have some empathy within the framework of recognizing, we're in a certain society that teaches us a certain thing from childhood, and a lot of us are just programmed based off of that, not actually like listening to other people or like thinking critically about the topic or saying it out loud to see if it logically makes sense. So yeah, that's the gray area for today. Yeah, we're good. Peace out. Oh yeah, and if you have any questions, comments, want me to cover any other, I know this is only my third video, so I know there's not a ton of y'all watching yet, but I'm excited to do these. It's a lot of fun.